Hi, it's me again. So this is just a quick sort of extension to the to the previous reflection because I forgot to say there was actually a change in schedule, so we ended up having two lectures on the same day. So the first one was, I believe, right, artificial reefs, and the next one was sea turtle and shark population. So we started off with some general facts about turtles and sharks. So, for example, on the planet for turtles, currently there are only seven living species, which is insane. Seven is nothing compared to the sharks with 500, with over 500. So that for me is just absolutely just mind-boggling. And then we sort of looked at the evolution of turtles and sharks, which you know, turtles is like okay, but then when you go to sharks, excuse me, and then you go like back a couple of hundreds of millions of years, think 450, you have megalodon-sized sharks, which go to over 20 meters. That is 20 meters of pure, coming out of jaws type of shark. And to think that sharks like that might even still exist in the depths of our oceans puts me so just out of it. I did not want to dive at all. I mean, it scares the bejeebers out of you knowing that a shark that's potentially over 20 meters can be lurking beneath you, and it just, oh God, it's jaws all over again, basically, which no one wants to live, which no one wants to live through. And then we looked at the reproduction methods for sharks and turtles. For sharks, excuse me. For sharks, it involves claspers and the cloaca. And essentially, the male grips onto the female's pectoral fin and inserts his clasper into the body. Yeah, so essentially, you would identify males with very long claspers, where females are more, they're much less longer. It's also good because sharks are asexual, so it can be done. So reproduction can be done in aquariums where where they only are producing the female chromosomes. And then sea turtles, what happened was we looked at sea turtles in Koh Tao. There are two main types. There's the green turtles and then the hawksbill turtles. So let me just look through my notes. Yeah, one big thing about turtle eggs is that the tiniest, not even when they're born, because since turtles live about 80 years, it takes time, like a lot of time, I think it was 3 or 4 years, for their shell to properly harden. Now, the slightest, maybe if there's any sort of increase or just too much pressure on the turtle shell before it's completely formed, because it's kind of malleable in a sense, the turtle will remain deformed for the rest of its life, which is, incredible because we actually got to touch a turtle like this, and it was very soft. So I really didn't want to screw anything over. So I just boop, barely even touched it. So then we just looked at the general life stages of turtles and sharks, which was very interesting. Again, we had yoga that morning, and we were all very sleepy because we had to wake up early for it. And so yeah, I will say that I may or may not have slept a bit. Which in hindsight, I know I really tried, but I know that it's showing a sort of measure of disrespect, but towards the lecture. But I was so tired. Yeah, so then we just looked at sex determination, which was again very interesting because all this information helps us identify key indicator species throughout Koh Tao, which then gives us an insight into, for example, things like, it can, the lack or the abundance of a certain species, whether it be turtle, shark, fish, gives us an indication as to very immediate factors that could be affecting populations, such as fishing, for example. If for example, 1 month you see a very high abundance of a certain species of fish, or just fish in general, and then you see a sort of rapid decline in the next month, that sort of gives you an indication as to the fact that is very probably fishing occurring there. So, you know, that's pretty much all we did. As far as we did have a code of conduct if we ever saw a turtle. No touching, no, try not to look at it from too close. As far as turtles, sharks, stay within 50 meters. Just I mean not 50. Sorry, just don't get too close. Don't touch them. Touching is probably a bad idea. They're sharks. Yeah. So it was a very interesting day. Very interesting. Very interesting lectures. So yeah, that was pretty much it. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.